Born in New Brunswick, New Jersey in 1985, I like to think that I was born with the ability to make friends, adapt, and live almost anywhere. Growing up, I lived in California and Florida before eventually moving to New Jersey in high school. That's right, I never actually lived there when I was born. I've lived in 7 states and have visited 43 out of the 50. When I think about my life, I feel very fortunate and blessed to be able to achieve the things I have. 2 college degrees, a successful career, and the mindset that I can do anything I put my mind to. But I also know that it is because of self-motivation and loving family and friends supporting me along the way that all things are possible. I'm Denise Thompson, and this is Through My Lens. When I think of Denise Thompson and what I want people to think about me when you define my career, 3 words come to mind: elevate, educate, and create. And of course, like me, they're trendy and catchy, but I think most importantly, they define who I am as a leader. So through my lens, I want to elevate my staff. I want to elevate those around me. I want to lift us up, bring us to accomplish the things that I know that we can. But before we can even elevate, it's my job to educate. I have to educate my staff, whether they're GAs, entry level, or whether you've been in the business 5 or 10 years. I have to educate you on what is going on. It might be the recent social media trends. It might be the different ways of writing. Maybe AP Sal has come out. Or it might just be, hey, what's this graphic and how can we do something to make it better? I have to educate you, bring you knowledge so that you in return can share that knowledge with others. And therefore, as a team, teamwork makes the dream work. When you bridge those 2 together, we create. Communications is all about creativity, whether that's your writing style, whether that's a video, photo, graphic. It's our job to bring things to life. So when I sit back and I think of, what is something that through my lens, when I want you to look through me and see, I want you to elevate, educate, and create. If you're able to do those 3 things, definitely anything is possible.
South Brunswick High School is where I was able to excel in track and field, to improve in the classroom, and to really focus on what my future was going to be. Having played basketball my freshman and sophomore years of high school, while also competing in track and field and moving to track and field full-time my junior and senior year, I think that it all was coming full circle for me, whether I knew it or not. While competing at track and field here, I was able to actually run on my future college campus of Fairleigh Dickinson, because that is where we held our indoor GMC championships every year. And that was a connection that I had to FDU, maybe not having fully explored the full campus, but little did I know that, as we all say in athletics, things actually, come together. And whether it was me doing graphic design, me competing in track and field, not knowing that competing at that same place in high school was going to be where I ended up extending my career in track and field, I think for me that was important. So when I think about athletic communications and I think about track and field, to me those 2 things go hand in hand. Without one, I would not be where I am today. So I am very appreciative of Mr. Langford, my athletic director at the time, pretty much dragging me up the stairs to go talk to Sarah Nagger, the director of athletic communications at the time at FDU, for an internship. The rest is almost history after that point. But what's near and dear to me is that track and field, my love for graphic design, people like Mr. Langford who believed in me, who saw something in me, and then from there, knowing that I had to push myself to do something that I wanted to be a part of, to create my future, to create my journey. And for me to know that if the sky is the limit, and if any and everything is truly possible, then nothing can stand in my way for the dreams that I want to achieve. So when I think of myself and I want to define what's my communications career, what defines Denise Thompson as an individual, I would say that it is my creative vision and insight to bring things to life. So when it comes to working with those underneath me, I want to elevate them to be the best that they can be, to push themselves, knowing that everything is possible. You know, you're going to have people in your corner, but the reality is self motivation has to be there first. And creativity, whether it's you enjoy writing, graphic designing, maybe it's the communicating, maybe it's the PR side of athletic communications, whatever it is, own it. So for me, I enjoy bringing things to life. I enjoy making videos, whether now it's in After Effects or Premiere Pro. Of course, upping my skills in Photoshop, because Photoshop will always be my baby. But when I think of through my lens and how I want people to see me, I want them to see me through the creative side. I want them to know that I brought images to life, videos to life. And at the end of the day, hopefully I was able to bring someone's story to the attention of many, many, many people that were able to watch it if it was a video, to read it if it was a story, or to honestly see that student athlete in action and to know that, you know what, I'm glad that I was able to be just a small part of someone's success, but knowing that the sky is the limit for everybody.
Growing up in a house of 5 kids, I'm the middle child, definitely have middle child syndrome. It was a never a dull moment, right? We were always playing games. For me and my family, it's Monopoly. Whether it's, we're all in town for 2 hours, we're all in town for 2 days, we're gonna play Monopoly, and it's gonna be just as intense as it was when we were growing up. And for me, I think that allows me to, it helps me when it comes to communication, right? I was always communicating, but for me, family is big. We laugh and we joke, but for us, it's playing games, and that playing games unites us in our own way. And when I look at that and I look at how that makes, my family and I come together, I actually bring that to my staffs, when I can, whether it's playing phase 10, which we've definitely done before, or going out and playing cornhole and things like that. I think that there are different ways that you can bring your family environment into your work family environment, but also realizing that we don't need to work hard all the time. Sometimes you do have to take a step back and find a way to communicate in other ways. And what's a better way to communicate? Through games and through our competitive spirit. We work in sports, so why not go ahead and compete in something that definitely is going to get our blood flowing and get our trash talking going. So for me, when I look at some of the things that I learned growing up and some of the competitive edges that I had, I still like to bring that to my staff. And I like to bring that to my friends. And it is a different way for us to interact while also taking a breather. Whew. When I think of my career so far, I would say that I have met the most amazing people, lifelong friends, people that I now consider family. And for me, I would say that communications has paved the way for me to become who I am. But it's not always about the job. One thing that I have learned in this business is that you have to achieve work-life balance. You have to take a step back and you have to say, you know what? I need me time. Whether that's 30 minutes of you every day where you take yourself away from all electronics, or maybe it's walking, maybe it's exercise, nutrition, whatever it is, you have to be able to do it. For me, it was I have to get away from it all, because there was a time when I was getting away from it all and I was still checking my email and was still answering replies to text messages and phone calls. And therefore I realized I wasn't really taking that break that I needed. So I would say through my lens, I have learned that I definitely have to just take time for myself and to do the things that I love. Before I got here, it was I loved music and I love sports. But now if you know me, you know that I love baking, but specifically, you know that I love making cupcakes. Sweet D's coming to a town near you. And I just think that really what you have to do is take time for yourself in this business, for your friends and your family, and to step away and truly enjoy life because you don't want it to pass you by. When you look back at your life 5, 10, 20 years from now, I want you to be able to say that you went out and you achieved all things outside of work while also achieving the things at work. I went to Texas State without ever stepping foot on that campus. I went to Northern Arizona and I went to live in the mountains for the first time, and it was crazy. I'm here in Utah at the Big Sky Conference, and there's more mountains and more snow, and I just have to buy another coat because I got to stay warm somehow. But what I want to say is take a chance, build your career, build your life, but don't just go to where you think it's sunny. Go to where you can bring the sunshine to that environment, and you can make every day sunny no matter what it is outside. Next, I would say accept the challenge. Accept the challenge to be better. Accept the challenge to take on something you may not have all the answers to in advance. And accept the challenge to just know that if you put your mind to it, you put time and effort into it, that you can achieve it. I know you can. When I think of all the challenges that may not have actually appeared as challenges from the outside, but maybe to me, you know what? I say, I did that thing. When it came time to apply to the job at Northern Arizona University, I was at Texas State. I had been there for 5 years. I had accomplished so much as an assistant, but I knew that I wanted to lead my own office. Going to NAU was a big jump for me. It was a lot farther west than what I was used to living as an adult. And I did not know many people out there. But I will say that position allowed me to do a lot more. And it had almost nothing to do with me personally, but it had to do with making little by little milestones. When I was at NAU, I was the first female to become the assistant AD for communications and lead that office. I was the first African American to be able to do that as well. So in return, I was the first African American female to lead the Northern Arizona Athletics Department when it came to communications. And for me, that was huge. I didn't know it at the time. I was just going there to lead my own office and to work with football and to really just try and get my wings wet and go wherever the wind was blowing and taking me. So in return, to see that and to now many years later know that that was something that was accomplished, I'm grateful, but I also know that this can't stop. I have to continue to open up the door for other minorities, for other women in this business, to just be given the opportunity to lead their office, the opportunity to change the game, and in return, the opportunity to achieve all the dreams that they wanted to when they were little girls. Maybe they're in middle school, high school, college, whatever it is. For anyone out there that was told that they can't achieve it, that they did not have the background or the degree or the experience, guess what? Prove them wrong. Accept that challenge like I did. For me, it was a personal challenge. It was for me wanting to do something to achieve just the next level of my journey in my career. But that challenge can be as little or as big as you make it. So I'm going to challenge you, just like I challenged myself many years ago. Take that next step. Do what it is that you want to do, and I guarantee you that you won't be disappointed. It's just another part of your journey. We all have a story, and I think what's most important is you need to share it. Through my lens, this industry has changed so much. When I first started, Facebook, you still had to have a college account. I think Twitter had just been starting, but there was no such thing as Snapchat, Instagram. I'm not even sure InDesign was even around. I think people were still using Quark back then. But you know what? It's okay. You gotta adapt. You gotta elevate yourself. You gotta change with the times. And that is how you're gonna continue to smile every day through this business. It's going to change. It might change overnight at this rate, but I think that that's okay. You know what? Pick up the phone a friend, text a friend, get your inner circle, because guess what? We're all going to rise together, but we don't have all the answers. So it's so crazy. I mean, I don't have all the answers. I try and think I have all the answers, but I really don't. But I think what I am capable of is doing just what I said, reaching out, learning, doing the research, and wanting to be the best in our profession. Because if we don't want to be the best, then we can't have it where other people expect the best from us and then they don't get it. So I'm going to challenge, I know, I keep saying it, I'm going to challenge everyone that's watching and listening. Be better, do better, want better. And in return, we're all going to lift each other up. We're all going to achieve our dreams. And we're going to continue to elevate the game of communications and do what it is so that people understand the time that we put in, the effort that we put in. But most importantly, getting people to know we're doing this because we love what we do. And as long as we love what we do and we can share our stories and share everyone else's stories, I think that communications will continue to rise and it'll be okay. Lastly, be you. I know in this industry, there's so many people out there, and I understand that you might want to dibble and dabble and you want to say, oh, what do I have to do to make myself better? Do I have to be like this person? Do I have to write like this person? Well, they write 500 words, but maybe I want to write 800 words. You know, they start their lead like this, but I wasn't taught that way. Guess what? Be you. Do what makes you feel creative. Do what makes you feel right, and do what brings you passion to your daily life. So do what you want to do. It's as simple as that. It's not this long essay in your mind that you have to rework before you come to a conclusion. No, don't try to be anyone else. Be you, and I promise everything that you're trying to achieve will come to fruition. Thank you. I'm Denise Thompson, and this is Through My Lens.